Hi, good morning. It's Jesse, and I'm back again. Um, I want to go through Psalm 44 with you. Starting at verse 1. Praise be to the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. Lord, what are mere human beings that you care for them, mere mortals that you think of them? They are like a breath, their days are like a fleeting shadow. Part your heavens, Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains so that they smoke. Send forth lightning and scatter the enemy. Shoot your arrows and rout them. Reach down your hand from on high. Deliver me and rescue me from the mighty waters and from the hands of foreigners whose mouths are full of lies and whose right hands are deceitful. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I understand the enemy that David was crying out here about, As soon as he says, reach down your hand from on high and deliver me and rescue me from the mighty waters, from the hands of foreigners whose mouths are full of lies and whose right hands are deceitful. Okay, so anytime we have a foreigner that's attacking us, we can be pretty sure that those foreigners are being sent by someone familiar. And David doesn't know how to deal with it because he doesn't know why these people are attacking him, why they're coming at him with false accusations and slander. He doesn't understand why they're his enemies, which is why he's crying out to God to train his hands for war and his fingers for battle, because he doesn't know what to do with these enemies. But you know what we have today in psychology, we understand sociopaths and narcissists and psychopaths. We understand that people who are what the world would consider pure evil, they don't always destroy you by their own hand, you see. And while psychology has been talking about this stuff for like the past decade or so, the Bible has been talking about it a lot longer. And I truly believe that Jesus came to remedy the warfare that's set against us all, right? The worst warfare is not the ones who come at you with swords. The worst warfare is the ones who attack you without cause, the ones who you don't understand why they're fighting you. And so there's no way that you can settle this, You don't feel justified in the battle because they're strangers. You don't know these people, right? But still they're coming at you. And what David didn't understand here, because Jesus hadn't come to remedy the situation, because he didn't bring us the weapons of our warfare that overcame beasts like these, But these people, they fight you through other people because they're cowards, because they know that they can't fight you and win. They know that they have no cause to fight you, but sometimes they're jealous of you, or sometimes they don't want you to rise because you can see them for who they are, and they don't want to be exposed by the brightness of your rising, right? And so they'll attack you through other people to bind you and tie you up so that you can't go any further, because it's real easy to have an enemy that you can see. It's real easy to overcome the ones that come at you, because you can settle those matters when you have familiar enemies. But when you have unfamiliar enemies, when you have strangers coming at you, these battles are not so easy to fight. And sometimes you find yourself swinging at air, and sometimes you find that you're being provoked so that they can justify themselves in the attack. And so the best thing that you can do in these types of battles is to just stand, just stand, endure, forgive them, because they really don't know what they're doing. They're taking up somebody else's cause. They're like the horses for a coward. You understand? And from what I've experienced, the horses that carry the battle from the coward, they act no different than the coward acted. They're just an extension of him. So you can tell who's sending the horses against you by what they're saying, you know? Um, I have an enemy like this, and I've tried and tried and tried to get away from him. I haven't been able to get away from him. And part of the reason why I can't get away from him is because while he's yelling at me and cursing my name and telling me that, I should just go off and kill myself, then he's turning around and calling people like my mom to say that he doesn't know what to do with me and he's so concerned and I left him and he wishes I'd just come back to him because he loves me so much and he doesn't know why I do these things. But it's all a mind game, and it's horrible. But then you have your mom coming at you so that she thinks that you're being she thinks you're the problem, and she can't see like what's really going on. And so when you call her crying, she's thinking to herself that you're being this horrible person, and she's telling you that you need to learn how to forgive, and what's wrong with you, stop doing this because he's so good to you. And it's all nonsense. And it's like the sharpest blows that he's delivered me came through other people. Everyone kept telling me that it's not that bad. But it took me a little while to catch on, that this was a narrative that had been planted in them, because not one of them knows what I was going through. Just me saying that I want to get out of here, that was all that I said, and them telling me that my situation isn't that bad. There's people who have it far worse than me. You don't understand what I'm going through, but I can see that you're a horse carrying a message telling me that I'm never getting out of this place. And so I cried out to God, deliver me from this, walk me out of this, show me how to get out of this, because I can't even, go find a job where seeds have not been sown there, where people are not telling me things that he's sowed out in the world. And it's him because he boasts on it. He brags on the things he tells people. And he rubs them in your face when he's got you pinned down and telling you that, it's not so bad. Well, he's got you pinned down and he's taken everything from you, where your authority is just completely diminished, and then you can't get out of it because everyone around you is shooting off his narrative that you're the problem. And it's so very hard. You feel like David here. You want to cry out to God and say, reach down your hand from on high, deliver me and rescue me. I know how David felt. I know how he felt, because I feel that way every single day. I had a rude awakening at 2 a.m. And it's not the first rude awakening. It's been happening for every night for the past 2 weeks, except for 2 nights. Every single night. And while other people are I'm sorry. I feel like David, it's too hard for me to talk about. It's too hard for me to fight, and it's really, really too hard, because now the horses that he's riding is the authority of the court. Only he's already worked everyone I know around me, and he's already gotten to every place I tried to go to get help from, so that I've gotten my head busted every time. And now we're in the court, and I talked to the GAL, and she's like, how come I never got on his insurance, where we're supposed to be talking about custody, and you're talking to me about, why I'm not on his insurance? The man never married me. He never wanted to marry me. I was never anything to him, and the only reason why he got next to me was to destroy me, so that he could take my children from me, so that he doesn't have to pay child support, and so that he can punish me more for not having his kids. You understand? The first time I got pregnant by him, I thought he was a good man. I thought we were going to get married. I thought he was going to take care of me. The first time I got pregnant, I told him I was pregnant. He told me I had to get rid of it because he was on trial for murder. And then he explained to me that it was an accident, and he had me convinced that it was an accident, but he wanted me to abort my child. And he left me, wouldn't take my phone calls, cut me off completely. Okay? When he got his appeal and came out, because he got convicted, he got sentenced to 30 years. When he got his appeal and he came out and he backed me into a corner. Nothing I can do, you understand? He didn't want me. He told everybody that I was a booty call gone bad. Then he painted me out to be some kind of whore and some kind of drug addict and some kind of alcoholic. I've never done drugs in my life, and I don't drink. My life with this man, it feels like a never-ending cycle, and I can't give up on my life because I can't leave my children defenseless. And so I pray to God, train my hands for battle, trying to go along with the process and work the process the best I can. But this guy, he keeps mounting up on horses, you know? He keeps on twisting things around. And you don't know how to get out of it. And the only thing you can do is turn to God and say, deliver me, you know? But the good news is that God is a deliverer. And there is a way out of it, you know? The Esther strategy where, you know, you let your enemies fall into the pits they dig for you, you know? When they come against you, they stumble and fall, you know? You stand true on the word. You stand true in the standard that Jesus set for us. Because when you're standing as a light, as they're coming against you, your light is exposing their ways and their means and their character, you know? When you stand up in the light and you refuse to fight and you choose to forgive and you just keep on pushing on and pushing forward and praying to God and crying out for your deliverance, you know. God will come through. He makes that promise. He will never leave or forsake you. And he says, after you have suffered a little while, I will establish you. So I'm betting that all these people, all these horses that he's mounting up on, they're going to realize that they had no cause to come against me in the first place. And when an authority like a court or the police, you know, anyone in the system comes against you without cause, they have to repay what they stole. You know, they have to make amends for what they did, for binding you up and tying you down. You understand? So I think that they're adding to riches for me in the end for when God comes through and makes this way. You know, because God says, after you have suffered a while, I will establish you. If you can't see who he is, you know, if you want to paint him to be a knight in shining armor and be his gallant horse, you know, then you're going to have a real problem when we pull everything out into the light, you know, because I'm going to stand until God exposes everything and my enemies fall into the pits they dug for me, because my God is a God of war. He is mighty in battle. He is my strong tower and my refuge, the one I put my hope and my trust in, and I know that my God will come through for me, because I'm his, because I love him. He loves me. And I know that I'm having a hard time, but I know that I'm not the only one. And I believe in standing my ground. But if these jokers keep on messing with me, I'm going to teach them what it means to make your enemies your footstool. And I'm going to climb up over their heads and shine a light on each and every last one of them and set other people free who are going through the same things I'm going through. Because this is just nonsense. The man murdered a child. and then passed it off as an accident. Don't tell me he's not a monster. Don't put me through this nonsense. Don't give him credit, because I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back crushing heads and taking credentials. Have a good day, y'all.